What if everything you've ever been taught about building confidence is a lie? What if the endless chase for a better job, a bigger house, more approval, or a more impressive title is actually a trap? A trap that's designed to keep you stuck in a cycle of anxiety, comparison, and fear. This is the great confidence lie, a myth so woven into our culture that we almost never stop to question it. The spiritual teacher Eckhart Tolle says this conventional path to self-esteem isn't a path to freedom at all. It's a prison built by the ego. In this video, we're going to dismantle that prison. We'll expose why this common approach to confidence is so fragile and show you how to tap into the real, unshakable self-assurance that Tolle says is already inside you. So let's break down the problem. And it's a problem almost all of us face. From the time we're kids, we learn to build our sense of self-worth on things outside of us. Good grades, sports trophies, praise from our parents. And later it becomes our salary, our job title, the car we drive, or the number of followers we have online. We're conditioned to believe that our value as a person is directly tied to our list of accomplishments. This is what Eckhart Tolle calls ego-based confidence. It's a sense of self that comes entirely from form, from things that aren't the real you. It's an identity we build out of thoughts, labels, and the stories we tell ourselves about who we are. I am a successful lawyer. I am a published author. I am a homeowner. These aren't just roles we play. They become the very pillars of our identity. And for a while, it can feel pretty good. A promotion at work gives you a rush. Positive feedback feels validating. Hitting a goal you've chased for years makes you feel proud and satisfied. But here's the fundamental flaw, the lie at the heart of it all. This kind of confidence is completely unstable. It's a house of cards built on sand, ready to collapse at the slightest change in your life. Think about it. What happens when you lose that job? What happens when you get criticism instead of praise? Or when someone else achieves more than you? The confidence that felt so solid suddenly shatters. That good feeling vanishes, and it's replaced by anxiety, defensiveness, and that nagging feeling of not being good enough. This is because the ego is never satisfied. It lives in a state of constant comparison. To feel good, it has to feel superior to others. So you get the promotion and feel great, but then you see a colleague got an even better one. You buy a new car and feel proud, until you see your neighbor's more expensive model. The ego's game is a race with no finish line. It's an endless cycle of chasing more, getting more, and still feeling like you're not enough. This constant striving is exhausting, and it's the source of so much of our suffering. Living with ego-based confidence isn't just tiring, it's a form of imprisonment. The ego creates this false self, a surface I, as Tolle calls it, that is incredibly fragile and constantly under threat. It's threatened by failure, by criticism, by being ignored, or by simply not being seen as special. This creates a life lived in a state of fear. Fear of not measuring up, fear of losing what you have. Fear that the carefully built image you show the world will crumble, revealing the deep insecurity you feel underneath. You get trapped in your own mind, endlessly replaying past failures or clinging to old successes whilst anxiously looking to the future for the next win that will prop up your fragile sense of self. This is a painful way to live. So many people who are seen as successful by the world are actually deeply unhappy, weighed down by a massive ego that demands to be fed constantly. They might have everything that's supposed to make them happy, money, fame, power, but they feel empty inside. That's because they've mistaken the container for what's inside it. They've spent their whole lives polishing the outer shell, their form identity, whilst neglecting the essence of who they truly are. Even what we call healthy self-esteem can be another ego trap. Tolle points out that feeling pretty good about yourself because of your achievements is still identifying with form. Sure, it's a lot more pleasant than having low self-esteem, but it's still playing the ego's game. It still relies on comparison and what other people think, which means it's always fleeting and unreliable. It can't give you lasting peace. The truth Tolle points to is that you will never find permanent self-worth by just rearranging the things in your life. You cannot achieve your way to lasting confidence. That whole idea is a lie. The solution isn't to build a stronger ego or collect more trophies. The solution is to step out of the ego's game altogether. So, if chasing achievements and approval is a lie, what's the truth? Where does real, genuine confidence actually come from? According to Eckhart Tolle, the answer is both simple and incredibly deep. True confidence comes from connecting with a part of yourself that is beyond the ego, beyond thought, and beyond form. He calls this presence or being. It's the formless, timeless awareness that is your true essence. Think of it this way: the ego is just a ripple on the surface of the ocean. It's your personal story, your history, your wins and losses. It's the surface I. But you are not just the ripple, you are the entire ocean. Your true identity, what Tolle calls the deep I, is the vast, still and powerful ocean of consciousness itself. This deeper self doesn't need anyone's approval. It doesn't need to compare itself to others because it knows its own inherent worth. This self-worth isn't comparative. It's a quiet, unshakable power that comes from simply being. It's the realization that, as Tolle says, more fundamentally than being a person with a story, you are the consciousness of the universe. This isn't something you need to build or achieve. It's already in you, just waiting to be noticed. The work isn't about adding more to yourself, but taking away the false layers. It's about letting go of your identification with the mind-made self, the ego. So how do you do this? The key is awareness. The first step is to just start noticing the ego when it shows up. Notice the thoughts of comparison, the craving for praise, the sting of criticism, or the pride from an achievement. Don't judge these thoughts or fight them, just watch them. As you become the silent observer of your own mind, you naturally start to disidentify from it. You realize you are not your thoughts, you are the awareness behind them. This is the practice of presence. You can grow it by bringing your attention into the present moment. Feel the aliveness in your body, the sensation in your hands, the rhythm of your breath. Step out of the non-stop stream of thinking, even if it's just for a few moments. In these pockets of stillness, you step out of the fragile surface I and connect with the deep I. You're no longer a person trying to be confident, you are the presence of confidence itself. This isn't about positive thinking, which often just gives the ego a better story to tell. This is about going deeper, to a place of inner stillness where you can feel the simple, profound joy of being alive, no matter what's happening on the outside. That is the source of true confidence. What does a life lived from this place of authentic confidence actually look like? It's a complete transformation. When your sense of self is no longer tied to the roller coaster of success and failure, you feel a profound sense of peace. The constant pressure to prove yourself just dissolves. The fear of failure gets smaller because you know that who you are at your core can't be touched by any external event. You're freed from the prison of comparison because your worth is no longer measured against anyone else. This doesn't mean you stop doing things. In fact, you become more effective. When you act from presence instead of ego, your actions are infused with a deeper intelligence and creativity. You do things not to build up your self-image, but for the simple joy of the action itself. Your relationships change too. Instead of seeing people through a lens of judgment or need, you connect with them from a place of compassion and clarity, recognizing the same deep essence in them that you found in yourself. You develop a real trust in yourself that doesn't depend on your mind's changing opinions. It's a trust in the deeper intelligence of life flowing through you. This is the unshakable self-assurance Tolle talks about. It isn't loud or arrogant. It's a quiet, steady inner knowing. It's the feeling of being rooted in something so deep and stable that the winds of life can no longer knock you over. Living this way is a continuous practice. The ego doesn't just pack its bags and leave overnight. It will keep showing up. But with awareness, you no longer have to be its victim. You can see it for what it is, a conditioned mental habit, and choose instead to rest in the stillness of your true nature. You learn to be free from your own fear, and by doing that, your very presence can help others feel free too. The great confidence lie tells you that you have to build yourself up with achievements and approval. But the truth is, you don't need to build anything. You just need to uncover what's already there. The greatest discovery you can ever make is realizing who you are beyond the person, beyond the story, and beyond the ego. True confidence isn't about getting a better story for yourself. It's about realizing you are the one who is aware of the story. It's the shift from thinking you're the fleeting ripple on the water to knowing you are the vast, peaceful ocean. If this idea resonated with you, I encourage you to take it further. Subscribe for more content on finding freedom from the ego and living a more conscious life. Like this video if it gave you a new perspective, and please share your thoughts in the comments. What helps you reconnect with your deeper self? Thank you for watching. Remember, you don't find peace by rearranging the circumstances of your life, but by realizing who you are at the deepest level.